What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the broader markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, when it comes to NIO, as you guys could tell, we have a nice looking bull flag like setup that's developing right here. And we could be looking for more upside if this continues. So we're holding up very, very nicely. As long as we don't lose 6.2, this should continue to uptrend for closer to $7. Now, there was some news coming out about their ES6, which is getting a lot of attention. You guys can see it looks very luxurious, very, very cool, and it's getting lots of attention. And on top of this, NIO could be setting itself up for a lot of growth as we're starting to see a lot of competition. And simultaneously, we're seeing some analysts from Wall Street turning more bullish, which is once again looking quite good. So that's some good news, at least so far. With the bigger cash cushion, it's going to benefit them for their expansionary plans. And then JP Morgan has their analysts such as Nick Lai, who have come out and they're restating their buy ratings, and they think they have an $8 price target on NIO. That's going to be a 29% increase in the share price. Not too bad whatsoever. On top of this, we also have some news coming out that the ET5T has rolled out its 100,000th unit. That is awesome news, with total miles surpassing around 1.9 billion kilometers. Once again, an awesome piece of news for the company. So I think this is going to be updating very soon, but our analyst grading is now going to show another buy rating that came out from JP Morgan. Good news, and that's bullish for NIO. The price price ratio is also climbing as NIO has this like bull flag setup, which could lead to more upside. And simultaneously, we're seeing some more seasonality. So although Mondays tend to be flat, Tuesdays tend to be stronger for NIO about 55% of the time. So that is looking optimistic heading into tomorrow. We have basically a 96% chance the Fed's going to give us a 25 basis point cut and a 4% chance we get 50 basis points. So we're going to see if we get a 50 basis point cut, the market's going to see another spike. But if we get 25 basis points, the stock market is once again going to see a big rug pull. So we'll see how it ends up going. On top of this, tomorrow, before the market opens, we actually have some data coming out. We have some retail sales data and some industrial manufacturing numbers coming out at 9:15 a.m. So expect some volatility. And greed makes up the majority of sentiment throughout our different indicators. But the question is the market about to see some kind of rug pull, or is the market going to rally? We're going to have to wait depending on FOMC. So it looks like the market's rally depends on FOMC. NIO needs to hold above 6.2. If we lose that, we could be dipping back down to 6 flats. But even if we see some kind of retracement tomorrow, we should continue to uptrend and eventually continue to push back up towards the high we saw around that 6.8 area. Because we're in a bull flag breakout, as long as we don't lose 6.2, I do favor 6.8 or above. In terms of SPY, on the other hand, SPY is not looking as great, although we're on an uptrend. I do want to give you guys a warning about this, that this could start to dip back down towards 660 or even 658. Then we'll see if we get one more bounce before FOMC. Then FOMC either gives us one final pump back up to like the 662 plus area, or we get one massive rug pull depending on what is announced. So we'll just have to wait and see what Jerome Powell and the Fed do. I believe if we get 25 basis points for the cut, the market could come down. But if we get a 50 basis point cut, the market could go up. It all depends. We do have bearish confluences that do suggest a downside risk is there. So we'll see just to be safe. On the triple Q, the same thing is going on. We're on a very, very nice uptrend so far. We have a rising wedge-like pattern. This might actually return to the lower trend line just a little bit before it potentially bounces again. But be very careful. Will we get one more spike close to like 600? Do we get this big rug pull after FOMC? Tomorrow we could be dipping to like the 588 to 589 area. Then we could bounce and consolidate for now. Then we'll see if we get some kind of rug pull later. The IWM is also range bound between 240 and 238. We'll see if it turns below 238 to dip more. ES is still looking a little bit more flat. I want to see us basically break 66.25 to continue to push. But if we end up losing 6,600 flat, we're looking for a big rug puller in the middle as we have this bearish divergence. So be very, very careful, guys, with the way in which this is moving. Will we get one more spike above 66.40? Or do we get that rug pull back down below 6,600? It could go either way. NQ is looking a bit more bullish. We could once again continue to uptrend, at least for now. And we're going to see if we get a rejection or not. As you guys can tell, we're trying really hard to uptrend. And I think this will likely continue. But be careful as we hit this upper trend line of resistance. We still have a rising wedge-like pattern that's valid. We have not truly invalidated it yet. We might retest 24,200 flats and consolidate. And then we're going to see if we get a big rug pull after FOMC or not. Do we get one more spike to 24,500, or do we get that big rug pull after FOMC? With the rising wedge forming, I do want to warn you guys to be very careful. On Bitcoin, we're going to be watching 116,000 as resistance and 114,000 as our support. We're in the middle, so we're going to see if we get a rug pull or not, so be very careful. In terms of Tesla, we're showing some weakness right now. We did pump really hard after the news came out that Elon Musk bought $1 billion worth of shares, but we kind of pumped in the morning, then dumped back down, so we could be returning back down to 400 or below. Nvidia is kind of flat right here. Are we about to get a rug pull or not? It could go either way. We need to get back above 180 to be bullish, but if we lose 175, we're bearish. We're stuck in the middle. I do see us retesting 175, though, so be careful. Apple pumped quite a bit. Are we about to get some kind of rug pull or not? Is this going to be kind of like a slanted head and shoulders on Apple? We might retest 233 and we'll see if we bounce from there, but there is some downside risk. On AMD, we're still looking a bit more bullish. We have kind of like an inverse head and shoulders like structure if we could break this resistance. If we lose 158, we're looking for a rug pull, but as long as we're above 162, we're looking for a attempt for 164. So it could be favoring 164, and we'll have to see what happens after that. For Coinbase, we're making higher lows. As long as we don't lose 318, we're going to be favoring 332. On Amazon, we're looking a little bit more decent. If we end up losing 228, we're going to be turning back down. But if we break 234, we're going to be turning back up. I do think we might be dipping to like 230 before we try to bounce back up. Meta is looking decent. It got kind of like a wick right here with the bearish divergence. Could be favoring 756, and we'll see if we bounce. Google is going to be favoring basically 255, and we'll see if you reject. And then Microsoft is also favoring like 516 or above for some temporary upside. Finally, the VIX is kind of like breaking out of this 4-hour wedge right here. So is it going to dip and just continue to uptrend slowly? Could that be a sign that we're about to see a rug pull? We'll see just how the market's about to perform after that. So for now, the market's still technically on an uptrend. We have not broken structure yet, but there is a risk of us turning maybe after FOMC. I'm not sure if we get one more spike now if we're about to get a massive rug pull, but I do favor that rug pull a little bit more. Looking at the bearish divergences, the rising wedges, and other factors, we're going to see if there's one more spike before we get the big rug pull, or if we're about to just get the rug pull from here. We'll see just to be safe depending on FOMC, but I do favor that there might be some rug pull coming to the markets very, very soon. And it's going to be very, very substantial when the time is finally right. So we'll see when the time finally comes. NIO is holding up nicely. It might come down to like 6.25 to 6.3 before potentially bouncing for 6.8 again. We're trying to break out of this bull flag. As long as 6.2 does not fail us, might be a small dip before it tries to bounce and break out higher. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have a very awesome rest of your guys' day, nights, or evenings, wherever you guys are around the world. And then finally, JP Morgan's expecting $8 for NIO very soon. So there is a lot of upside potential, at least for the medium term. With that being said, NIO Day is next week. I can't wait to see what happens. And there is upside potential for NIO nonetheless. I hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' days, and peace out.